Learning the history of the 1800s is an enlightening feeling. At the George Ranch Historical Park, there are multiple activities that take place throughout the year, filling you with exciting and educational information from 4 generations of the 1800s. Site leader for the 1890s Davis site, Caitlin Hill, shares more.
Today we have one of our week-long events known as Hands-on History. We have them every week throughout the summer, and basically it gives people a chance to really get their hands on history. This week's activity is at my site, and it is the Victorian flower pressing, where you're taking flowers and plants from the area and you're pressing them to dry them out and keep them as keepsakes. There are a couple different ways of doing it in the Victorian period. You can press it between 2 books, you can set it in the pages of a big heavy book. There are also really complicated contraptions that you can use that actually do kind of a weighted pressing on it. There are a whole bunch of ways for them to do it. Then the Victorian ladies also did it so that they could keep track of the different plants that they may have had in their lands, and they were also used sometimes as bookmarks or decorations. They would put them in shadow boxes and make designs to put on their walls. It was kind of a cross between ecology and a leisure activity for them to decorate their houses.
Flower pressing is timeless and priceless. Flower pressing volunteer expert Amber Letman explains more.
We're doing 1, the historical way of flower pressing, and then 2, the way you can do it at home by yourself. Historically, what you do is you take flowers, rearrange them on tissues or a piece of paper, and then you squish them between 2 books. Or you have a crank that is technically 2 pieces of wood and squish them. And then you leave that for a week. And then the way you can do it at home is you take cardboard, or if you really want to, you can use wood. It's your choice. And the way we're doing it here is you take cardboard, paper, and the flowers, squish them all together, and then put rubber bands over it so you have that pressure on the flowers to keep them tightly pressed together. It's a fun activity to do, and it's extremely simple, and you'll have something for 3 or 4 years that you can just keep with you.
Find out how you can flower press today. Caitlin Hill explains.
One location for some pretty easy access information is going to our webpage, georgeranch.org, and we have some links to the blogs on that page, and we will have step-by-step instructions so that you can kind of follow along with what the girls are doing in the video.
There's nothing to it but just to do it. Hold your horses as we lasso into the next history lesson at the George Ranch Historical Park. Lead cowgirl interpreter Lauren Samuelson shares more.
Taking care of cattle isn't something that a lot of kids learn about these days. You know, they see their hamburger served to them on a plate, but they don't really know much about where that comes from and what kind of work has to go into that. And so when they come here, they get to learn a lot more about that. They get to see the process from beginning to end, what it takes to take care of the animals at the ranch. We have 4 demonstrations a day where when the weather is good, we'll show roping cattle, a lot of the ranch work that takes place every day. When the weather isn't as good, they'll get a close look at some of the livestock, and we'll talk about taking care of the livestock. We also do a cattle drive the first Saturday of every month, along with a chuck wagon breakfast. So first Saturday of the month after the summer is always fun. And then closer to Christmas, we start having Campfire Christmas, an event where you can come out and enjoy some cider and coffee with the cowboys.
You learn something new every day. Cowboy interpreter Caleb Massengale expresses more.
We make sure that these cows, if something's wrong with them, we doctor them and we make sure that they stay healthy. Also, we feed them every morning, things like that. Whenever we're doing the working shows, we'll actually rope one and show you how it would have been done out in the pastures. And then we also sort them out here in the pens, and we'll show you how we would work them by hand here in the pens as well. Also, we keep them up and running. We have a herd, and then we'll switch out different ones so that we make sure that the moms have babies every year. They almost went extinct a while ago, and a gentleman actually rounded up a bunch of them, took them to Oklahoma, made sure that he brought back the original breed and made sure they were all purebred, so you can register your Longhorns with the state. And Mr. George here at the George Ranch, we kept a few of them to make sure that we kept that breed alive.
For more information about events held throughout the year at the George Ranch Historical Park, please visit www.georgeranch.org. For Stafford METV, I'm Raquel Sims.